I'm not a real gamer. I dreaded the day that this would come. You know, I pride myself on very few things in life. My insatiable appetite for success. The fact that no matter how much gel I put in my hair, it'll always look like I just got out of bed. And of course, what's most important to all of us is the fact that I've never failed at anything. For those of you who have been watching this channel for weeks, months, or even years, you would know that that statement is true and not false at all. I can't crown command. Believe it or not, I've actually failed before. I know, I can already hear the crowd gathering outside my window as we speak to cast me into the flames like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. And honestly, I deserve it. Now, some of you may be asking what on earth I'm talking about. Well, I'll explain. A while back, there was a challenge that I really wanted to engage in. Because though I knew it would be hard, in my brain, nothing was insurmountable. And in order to show you, we're gonna have to use a device that's as old as time. That's right. A flashback. About 13 months ago, whether it came to me in a nightmare or as a sheer sadistic craving, I remembered a game from my childhood that I, for some reason, had fond memories of. A little-known game by the name of Mortal Kombat: Mythologies. Sub-Zero. Now, for those of you who are newer, or just those of you who didn't see, I've actually made not one, not two, but 3 videos on this game. Each video was separated by level, and honestly, this is the most troll design I have ever seen in my entire life. Somehow, this game, which wasn't built to be a comedic troll game like Getting Over It or Jump King, manages to be the most infuriating game I have ever played. To give you a quick refresher, let's jump back to the first episode. After a few steps forward, you run into your first enemy and see that they have something that I like to call chance-based combat, which basically means that they always have the chance to perfectly counter your attack the exact frame you throw it, as if God was saying, "Hey kid, turn the fucking game off. You should..." Oh, what? Who is that? I just came from that way. Why is there... Oh my god. The enemies respawn when they're off screen. You roll the dice, you win again, and finally you can move past the first 2 rooms in the game. So go ahead, kid. Get running. Let's see what it... And finally, you hit this balcony area. Well, there's nowhere else to go, so why not jump it? And that's a game over. You get through him, walk a little, and what's this? I ain't falling for this shit again. Now, after all of this, I could have just walked away. We all got a good laugh. Now we could lock arm in arm and skip off into the sunset together. But to be honest with you, that wasn't my ninja way. I asked at the end of that very first video if you guys wanted to see more of it, and a lot of you said yes. So I locked on my very best snowboarding shoes and got ready to plummet down this landslide of shit. As you can imagine, the second level was somehow worse than the first. You run into this asshole who basically teaches you that your chances of beating this level are almost non-existent. After a dicey battle, he dies. There's only one way to go, so you jump right. And... you keep going, you kill 3 guys, and you hit your first checkpoint. And oh my god. Oh my god. Maybe they won't react if you don't swing. And oh my god. It actually works. A tornado spawns that is way too powerful and it launches you up. So you go to the right and you die to fall damage. So you let them respawn, you freeze them, and you run into the room to grab another key. After grabbing the key, this blade starts whirling and you better get out of there or you will be minced like chewing gum. You come back, you grab the thing from the shit, start running out, and almost get cucked by the most selfless monk in history. It's over, right? Right? It should be over. Never mind. He does an unblockable, inescapable tornado attack in the middle of the stage after you get rid of his health bar, which kills you in 1 hit due to fall damage. But there has to be a way around it, so all you gotta do is beat him again. Easy. But you wanna know something funny? A very powerful kick in the nuts, your healing items don't come back when you die. So now you have to beat him without healing. And do you want to know the correct answer on how to beat him? You have to run to the edge of the stage and press down so that Sub-Zero grabs the ledge. With no indicators of that being necessary at all, even on very easy mode, that is what you have to do to beat him. I thought replaying a game that I somehow enjoyed as a kid would be fun to make a video on, but in order to get this footage, I died 25 fucking times. I died 25 times. Let me the fuck out. But somehow, after this trial and tribulation, I realized that this level wasn't the only thing beaten. So was my spirit. Whereas this continuation to the series only took 1 week from the original first episode, the next episode was going to take longer than a few weeks. Hell, it took months. But I dusted off my snowboarding shoes and decided to continue with this atrocious game. And honestly, though the third level was not as bad as number 1 or 2, it was still full of random death traps that you couldn't predict, holes that either give you items or kill you, and whatever the fuck that was. And I'll be honest, after exploring this god-awful maze of hell that can only be described as a platforming nightmare under the guise of a fighting game, I realized I just couldn't do it. I was only 3 levels into this fuckery, and at the rate I was going, finishing this playthrough was gonna take longer than the 2nd season of Arcane. So, I did something I didn't even know I was capable of. Something that I didn't know I had in me. I gave up. Against your comments, against my pride, against my better judgment, I threw in the towel. Like a friend trying to calm me down before a big street fight, my brain was screaming, "It's not worth it, bro." And I abandoned the series. I laid awake all night, sleeping a mere 10 winks in 10 weeks. And then, one day, for no reason at all, me and my girlfriend decided to go to an old video game store. There were games from my childhood like Billy Hatcher. They had games I completely forgot existed that were awful like State of Emergency. Hell, they even had a copy of a very rare game that I genuinely loved on the Nintendo 64, Goemon's Great Adventure. But no matter which direction I looked, I couldn't get my mind off of him. There he was, taunting me, smiling from ear to ear, saying words to me that I know, if I repeated them, I'd be demonetized for the rest of my life. And that's when I knew what I had to do. I had to get upcharged $80 in order to buy a copy of Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero for the Nintendo 64, which is actually the worst port of it. And that's why we're taking a stand. If you're a fan of the channel, fret not, because the rest of the playthrough is going to be coming out here soon. However, if you're somebody who's like me and wants to see things at this very second, today we're doing our first ever streamathon on twitch.tv/Scooch. I've decided that I am going to stream this game in its entirety, and I will not stop streaming until I complete this bastard of a game. On top of that, we're going to be having a lot of hilarious sub-goals, which include turning me into an e-girl, waxing my legs, and eating the hottest chicken in California. So if you're somebody who wants to catch all of this madness live, head on over to twitch.tv/Scooch right now. I'm streaming at this second. And at the end of the stream, we're going to have a vote to see what happens to the cartridge of this cursed game. I hope to see you there, and don't worry if you can't catch the stream. We're going to cut it down into a really nice video and upload that within a week or so you're not going to miss out on anything. However, you can see me live right now, so head on over there. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Or in like 2 seconds, I guess.